Hi everyone, Radhe Radhe. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the relentlessness of life and of our actions in spite of life. So I'm going to give a few examples around that to express what I mean by it and how important it is to be relentless. So I got this word, and this idea from this book that I was reading by somebody who was explaining the mantra meditation that I do, and how important it is to keep bringing our mind during that meditation. In the technique that he was explaining relentlessly. So any meditation, basically, our mind will wander. There will be thoughts that come. We don't have any control over the fact that thoughts will come. Of course, they will come. What we do have control over is how we respond to it. So the thoughts will come, and there was somebody who had explained there were three phases to it. So the first phase is when you're focused. In that moment, you sit down and you're focused for whatever, a split moment, a second, whatever, however long you're focused for. The second is when the thoughts come, and the third is when you bring yourself back. And he had said the most important part is when you bring yourself back, and that can be applied to everything in life, right? The most important part is when you fail, you're doing something. That's stage one. You fail, stage two, and you bring yourself back up, stage three. The most important part for us is when we bring ourselves back up. So this is what this is about as well. Relentless. We keep bringing ourselves back. So this makes it so easy and so good, because then we're not feeling bad when we lose the focus and when we fail. The instead, we're feeling good when we bring ourselves back, because the important part is not that we're focused. The important part is not that, oh my goodness, I managed to stay 30 minutes focused without doing anything. The important part is bringing ourselves back. So that gives us control, that gives us power. It's like, okay, every time I bring myself back, I have won, I have done something. So it's even more important than sitting there and being focused on pure meditation for 30 minutes. I mean, it's like, because the most important part is not being focused, it's bringing ourselves back. It's because that's where the growth is. So the more we do that relentlessly, I don't know why this word stayed stuck with me, but I'm going to try to make it stay stuck with you, because this word is crucial for your growth. Because what we do need to do is be relentless over and over and over and over and over again. When we fail in anything in life, including meditation, we bring ourselves back. And what is the one of the most difficult things to do in the world, in the entire world? It's to control the mind. Because the thoughts will come, and they will, and it's easy to forget that sometimes. Even for me, I know this, I've read this a million times. The most difficult thing, like in the Gita, the most difficult things is in the world is to control the mind. Even for the great sages, it is most difficult to control the mind. But then when I don't remember, or when I don't do things, then I feel bad, like, oh, I had this thought, or I didn't have this thought. I'm trying to remember something every 10 minutes and I didn't remember. I'm God, and I didn't remember, and then I feel bad. I'm like, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. I have to remind myself, no, don't feel bad about not remembering, remembering after a few hours. Because the most important thing is because it is the most difficult thing in the world to do is to control the mind. So it is very, very understandable, but we can befriend the mind. The mind does not want to be our friend usually. It just wants to keep us small and keep us, But what we can do is we can befriend it, and we can use it for our thing. Just keep practicing. And what needs to be done is, instead of the mind practicing all of the bad stuff that we've been doing, all of the ruminating over things past and future that do not serve us, instead of ruminating over that, we can ruminate over whatever we find we want. I mean, people who want to manifest will ruminate over what they want to manifest. People who want God will ruminate over God. People ruminate over the things that help us, that serve us. Whatever you want, you decide. Nobody else can tell you what you want and what you should be thinking about. So you decide what you want to be thinking about, or you decide what works for you, what will serve you best, and then think about that all the time, as much as possible. I'm trying to think about God. My ultimate goal is to think about God 24/7. So I'm trying this process of thinking about God every 10 minutes. Not setting the alarm, but using the mind, trying to use the mind. I'll check the time, and I want the mind to be actively trying to remember. And the more it doesn't, I forget for hours and hours, many times I'll forget, and it's okay. It's really, really okay. So the key word here is relentless, absolutely relentless. So another example is I was doing this mantra meditation. It's called a kirtan at the temple. The last few days there was a lecturer, there was a visiting musician, I will call him kirtanier, who was doing these mantra meditation, leading these song based, music based mantra meditations over the last 3 days. And we had 5 sessions over the last 3 days, and each one was around 1 to 2 hours, somewhere between there. It was so difficult for me to keep my mind focused on God, because I would sing, but then I would forget that I'm not just singing. I'm when I don't want to just sing. When I'm singing, I want to think about God. I want to feel, and my mind would just wander, and I would just find myself mechanically sing, which is good, which is great. I mean, the mechanical singing is also part of the thing. It'll help us eventually, but the goal is to really bring feeling into it, really bring thinking and feeling and action, like being active, not just being a passive singer, but being very active and intentional and methodical about it. So yeah, it was very difficult at times. It was so difficult. And I was like, okay, I've lost connection. And I would say that to God, I've lost connection now. I've completely lost connection. Please help me bring it back. And then I would push myself to do it, and I would manage, and then I would lose it again I would manage for like a moment, and then I would lose it again for many minutes, and then I would manage for a moment. And it was but then relentlessly, that's what you do. You just keep on, keeping on relentlessly. It does not matter. When you get tired and you feel like, okay, this is too much, then it's fine. But in my case, it was like, okay, this person is only here for this weekend. He's leaving. He's one of the best kirtaniers in the entire planet, I think. Like, I love him. I crazy love him. And I listen to a lot of kirtan. So for me, it was an absolute miracle that he was here in Seattle and that he was doing these concerts, religious kind of concerts. And to me, it was an absolute miracle that he was here. So I was like, I am going to use every single moment that I can. I'm going to pull every ounce of strength and willpower that I have to try to focus right now and to try to use this beautiful environment that he has created, that makes it easy for me, easier than it would otherwise be, to bring this. So yeah, I was doing it, and relentlessly. What other examples can I give? Yeah, so my diet, like I've been following my diet, and the last 3 days, because this person was here, okay, all kinds of excuses, I was not following my diet. I was out of the house a lot, and I was hungry, and I didn't manage to cook the stuff that I wanted to cook. And then once I broke the thing, then the next day I was like, okay, I've already broken it. It's okay. I mean, my numbers are going to be very high anyways. I have diabetes, so my numbers are going to be very high anyway. So that's fine. I am going to just eat whatever I can. So I chose to do that, and I ate just like all. But that's okay. I fell, bring myself back relentlessly. Today I'm back. I am fully back. It's like, okay, I felt that's fine. This is a long-term project. It'll probably take a year or more for me to start to see real results and real shifts and real changes in my life, and that's okay. That's another thing I'd spoken about in my previous video, that expand the thing. Like, instead of what is the limit of your limiting belief, if you believe that your limit is like, if I don't manage to do this in 6 weeks, which is what I had, I was like, okay, I'm going to expand that to a year in my mind, so that I give myself permission to go on this journey over the long haul, and I don't start to beat myself up. Oh, I didn't manage it in 6 months, so I'm not good enough, or I'm not like whatever. Give myself, expand that time, and when the year is over, I'll expand it even further, right? But yeah. So, but relentlessly keep going. So the key word for today, the key concept for today is relentlessly. Keep that word in your mind. Whatever it is that you're trying to do, relentlessly go after it. Okay, yeah, that's it for this video. Wish you a day filled with lots and lots of insights. Wish you a beautiful day. Radhe Radhe.